Imagine a force so dark and so powerful that it has silently shaped the course of history for nearly 1,000 years. The Knights Templar, once seen as noble crusaders, were not only warriors but were also said to hold secrets of forbidden magic, ancient rituals, and a path paved in blood and betrayal. Many believe their allegiance wasn't to a god of light, but to something far darker: Satan himself. Today, whispers of their influence linger in shadows, with symbols and signs left by these medieval knights still guiding some of the most influential people and institutions around the globe. Join me as we uncover how the sinister influence of the Templars lives on in plain sight, a legacy driven by dark forces, warning us all that the shadow of the Templars has never truly left our world. Are you ready to see the truth? The Knights Templar formed the foundation of all modern secret Masonic organizations. It is no exaggeration to say that followers of these knights hold considerable influence over the world today. They represent the modern and extended form of Freemasonry and the Free Builders. Originally, they were a group of 9 fighters, outlaws from the French aristocracy, who established themselves in 1118 AD under the guise of guarding roads and protecting the pilgrimage route to the Holy Sepulchre. At that time, King Baldwin II ruled Jerusalem. In reality, however, they were tax evaders from France who managed to deceive the Church by initially calling themselves the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ. When they journeyed from Europe toward Jerusalem, they also deceived the Church and King Baldwin II, exploiting their Church-approved mission to search for the Black Book and Kabbalistic teachings of magic. It was never proven that the Templars protected any pilgrims en route to the Holy Sepulchre. They were also members of the Brotherhood of the Order of Saint Templar in France, bearing a white flag with a red cross, and the knights wore white garments adorned with this red cross. With direct church support, the Knights Templars' power grew immensely. In the beginning, the Knights Templar took an oath of secrecy regarding their mission and committed to monastic rules, specifically poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their numbers swelled to tens of thousands of monastic knights, forming an efficient army and receiving substantial donations from the Vatican and other churches. They acquired numerous estates and palaces, often those purchased by returning pilgrims from Palestine. The Templars controlled Europe politically, economically, religiously, and socially for over 230 years, employing various forms of sorcery and magic based on Satanic teachings recorded in the Book of Kabbalah. They pioneered the concept of international banking by allowing pilgrims to the Holy Land in Jerusalem to deposit their money and valuables in any church or monastery across England and Europe, retrieving them upon their return from pilgrimage to the Holy Sepulchre, with a percentage retained by the Templars in Jerusalem. This also explains the mysterious connection between the Templars and the Rothschild family, and the family's role in establishing early European banks. The Templars indeed discovered magic books and the secrets of Kabbalah. Upon uncovering these secrets, they destroyed everything that might reveal these mystical insights to others. They set fires across various parts of Jerusalem to obscure the truth and keep the secrets of black magic hidden. They mercilessly attacked Muslims, blocking pilgrimage routes to the Hejaz, killing Muslims, looting, beheading, shooting with arrows, and forcing many to jump from towers, later burning them in deep oil-filled pits. This brutal conduct catalyzed the rise of a Muslim knight who struck fear across the Levant after defeating the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin in 1187 AD. This knight was none other than Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi, who vanquished the Crusaders and the Templars, answering the call of Muslims who sought his aid after he liberated Egypt from the treacherous Fatimid state. Uniting Egypt with the Levant was essential to secure their position and withstand the Shiite factions as they faced the Crusaders. In this decisive battle, the Kingdom of Jerusalem lost its primary military force. The Battle of Hattin was not merely another heavy military loss for the Crusaders, it marked the obliteration of the largest Crusader army assembled. The King of Jerusalem, Guy de Lusignan, was captured. Salah al-Din displayed mercy towards the Crusader leaders by releasing them after they surrendered Jerusalem. However, he refused to pardon the Templars, compelling most of them to retreat back to Europe. After their secrets were revealed, that they were a secret sect following the Antichrist and associated with Christian Jews, most of the remaining Templars fled back to Europe. Once exposed as a clandestine organization dedicated to dark practices, they abandoned vast sums of money and quantities of gold, bribing certain guards to escape trial. Some fled to the island of Malta, later known as the Free Knights of Malta, led by their famous commander, Jean de la Valette. The majority escaped to Scotland, where they disguised themselves as Freemasons and were protected by King Robert the Bruce, who had also been excommunicated by the Papal Church and placed Scotland under colonial rule. Having lost hope for liberation after the death of Scottish leader William Wallace, the Templars found refuge with King Robert, who saw their expertise as an opportunity to initiate a reform movement within the Protestant faith. Thus, Freemasonry and Protestantism joined forces against the Catholic Church. The Templars, modern-day Freemasons, viewed this alliance as a means to pursue vengeance, while the Scots benefited from the Templars' Crusader warfare experience, seeking one final opportunity for freedom from colonial rule. This fusion of Scottish Protestants, who had undergone religious reform, with Freemasons led to the establishment of Rosslyn Chapel, founded by William Sinclair in the mid-15th century. This chapel is significant not only as the first church symbolizing Freemasonry in Europe, but also as a representation of the so-called Temple of Solomon. To this day, the chapel is known as the Mother Lodge, or Lodge Zero. This merging of Protestant ideology in Europe fostered the widespread belief that Protestants, compared to other Christian factions, had close ties with Masonic organizations, largely due to the clandestine strategies the Templars had mastered worldwide. This was not because Protestants were seen as superior. Rather, Freemasons considered them a means to infiltrate and subtly subvert Christianity from within. The dangerous integration of Protestantism into Christianity resulted in irreversible consequences. The Templars targeted Islam with an even more insidious infiltration, supported by Jews and Freemasonry, through an unfamiliar doctrine, Shi'ism, or Rafidism as it is more precisely known. Now, the picture becomes clear. The Templars, who were ancient Freemasons skilled in sorcery and satanic invocations, adopted pagan symbols as their ideological theme. They alone possessed the secrets of Kabbalistic magic. This group of knights did not guard the pilgrims to the Holy Sepulchre, but instead sought the secrets of Kabbalistic sorcery in Jerusalem. Worshipped Satan through the statue of Baphomet, practiced depravity, and harbored a deep desire for revenge against Catholics, especially King Philip and Pope Clement, who were the primary forces behind the Templars' downfall in Europe and Jerusalem. When discussing the Templars' expertise in black magic, it is crucial to revisit the story of their leader, Jacques de Molay, and his execution. When Jacques was led to the execution platform and saw King Philip and the Pope, he looked at them and declared, "You both shall follow me in death within the same year." He was subsequently executed, burned at the stake. But his prophecy came true. The Pope died 1 month later from dysentery, and King Philip died under mysterious circumstances 8 months after that. However, the revenge did not end there. In 1789, the French Masonic works resurfaced, applying the Templar secrets and traditions within the French Empire. Freemasonry was the force orchestrating the French Revolution against both the Catholic Church and the government of that era, represented by Louis XVI, a descendant of King Philip. When the king was executed during the French Revolution, one of the knights jumped to the guillotine, stood by the king, and shouted, "Jacques de Molay, vengeance is yours." Freemasonry indeed adopted all the ideas, beliefs, and rituals that were once tied to the Templars, including the secrets of Solomon's Temple, alleged, the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, and interpretations of both the Old and New Testaments. Freemasonry continues to use the same symbols the Templars once employed, such as the skull and crossbones, the cross, the double cross, and the equal-sided cross. It's also essential to remember that the secrets of Kabbalah and black magic, along with all their rituals and interpretations, have been passed down to Freemasons or the Illuminati. Worship of the light-bearer, Lucifer, or Baphomet is revealed in the high degrees of Illuminati Freemasonry, none other than the Baphomet the Templars worshipped. Following their prominent role in the conspiracy of the French Revolution, the Templars moved to the United States. Moreover, they carried with them the unique culture of black magic and a deep-seated hatred for Catholicism. They introduced the foundations of banking and finance, establishing themselves as the leaders of what would become one of the most powerful institutions in the modern world. The Templars evolved into leaders of the New World Order as we know it today, wielding wealth, magic, and power. They migrated to North America, orchestrating events as they had done in France, igniting the American Revolution against the British Empire. When the Declaration of Independence was signed, 50 of the signers were Templars, all of them Freemasons. With the migration of the Illuminati Freemasons and the Templars to the United States, believed by some to represent the land of the Antichrist, questions arise alongside the multitude of revelations we've discussed in this narrative and the numerous truths established about the history of this fabricated state. For instance, can we interpret the fact that every American president has been Protestant? Is this connected to the Templars' historical animosity toward Catholics? Or were all the presidents Templars themselves? Is this a prerequisite for Freemasons to maintain an American president in power? And if so, does it conflict with freedom of religion and freedom of expression in the birthplace of democracy? However, one U.S. president, John F. Kennedy, was Catholic. But what happened to him? Indeed, he was assassinated in Texas because of his strong opposition to secret societies and Freemasonry, which he openly condemned in all his speeches. Remember the skull and crossbones, a symbol that is shared by both Freemasonry and the Templars. It is also the emblem of the Skull and Bones Society at Yale University. But what exactly is this club? And why mention it now? It is a marble building with no windows, commonly referred to as the temple. Only those of specific lineage may join. Members of this society are carefully nominated and selected. This society has funded consecutive American governments with presidents, senators, financial market leaders, and industrialists. This society is considered one of the most secretive associations infiltrating all American institutions, especially media across the United States. It has historical ties with political Judaism and Freemasonry, and it wields significant influence in electing the American president and shaping decisions in the American administration. Do you know who was a member of this club and went on to graduate from it? President William Howard Taft. President Theodore Roosevelt. President George H.W. Bush. President George W. Bush. Presidential candidate John Kerry. In September 2001, do you recall the words spoken by President George W. Bush? He said, quite literally, in his commentary on the catastrophic attacks on the New York Towers and the Pentagon, "This is a crusade." So, the Knights Templar did not die, but rather extended to this day, gaining strength and even more influence worldwide. They have established themselves as the source of dozens of world leaders, politicians, and international organizations. As we've journeyed through the shadowed history of the Knights Templar, we've uncovered a legacy not of heroism but of deception. These knights, once hailed as protectors of the faith, evolved into masters of secrecy, manipulation, and forbidden knowledge. Through centuries, they have woven a web so intricate that its strands reach into the very foundations of our modern world. They've reshaped governments, influenced powerful organizations, and embedded their dark symbols in places of power and wealth. Their real allegiance was never to faith or freedom, it was to control, domination, and, as many believe, to the forces of Satan. Why would the Templars deceive the world? The answer lies in their insatiable drive for power. Behind the Templar cross lies a vision of a unified world, a new world order in which freedom and diversity are erased, replaced by one rule, one power, and one dark influence over us all. In this vision, Satan himself stands at the helm, guiding a world shaped by deception, greed, and fear. It is a world where our beliefs, our freedoms, and even our souls would be subject to their control. This is no longer just history, it's a present-day reality unfolding right before our eyes. In politics, in the media, and in the relentless drive toward a world of conformity, one without borders and devoid of individuality, this vision of unity comes at a significant cost. If we let this vision unfold without resistance, we risk losing our freedom, our values, and even our humanity. So, what actions can we take? The answer is awareness and action. We must be prepared to identify the symbols, recognize the patterns, and question the intentions of those advocating for global unity at the cost of individual freedom. They ignited fires throughout various parts of Jerusalem to obscure the truth and conceal the secrets of black magic. It is our duty to stand against the forces that seek to remake this world in their dark image. We must remind ourselves, our families, and our communities of the importance of truth, faith, and free will. The time to act is now. Knowledge is power. If we don't act, the Templars' vision of domination won't just influence our world, it will ultimately take control of it. Therefore, I urge each of you, remain vigilant, stay informed, and ensure their deception does not go unchallenged. Together, we can keep the light burning and resist this slide into darkness. Let us remember this: our future, our freedom, and our very souls are worth fighting for. By uncovering these truths, we empower ourselves to resist. The more we learn, the more we can stand united against those forces that seek to keep us in the dark. If you believe in exposing this truth, if you want to stand with us as we reveal what's hidden and challenge the powers behind these secret societies, Then subscribe and become part of this mission. Together, we can continue to unmask the Templars and those who walk in their footsteps. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and together, we'll shed light on the dark places they don't want us to see.